there is a big story brewing out of Pocatello where David Worley lives. And if you recall, if you follow politics at all, you know that in 2022, David Worley ran for state senator for District 29. He also previously had run for mayor of Pocatello. And so he's a very engaged in his community out there. He's also a multi-decade, 23 years, 22 years with the National Guard and currently with the Idaho Army National Guard. He has a case against Governor Little as commander-in-chief of the National Guard and a couple of other generals in the Idaho National Guard because he has been put on paid leave for the better part of a year and a half now, simply for what appears to be simply for being a Christian guy who's standing up for common sense values. David Worley, under this case that's going on right now, he's not doing any press yet, and so we'll talk to him in due time. But he does have a bunch of great legal team out of with Liberty Counsel, which is a group, a nationwide legal group. We'll get into what they do and understand more about them. But with us today is Associate Vice President of Legal Affairs, Daniel Schmidt of Liberty Counsel. He joins me now, but he's one of David's lawyers here, and I wanted to have you on, Daniel, to kind of walk everybody through out there, kind of a little bit of the background of this case and why you think. I mean, the way I look at it, this is an open and shut case of pure religious discrimination against David. But I'll let you make the case for us.
Well, I agree with you. It should be an open and shut case. Things get a little bit more complicated when you're talking the military establishment. We saw that years ago with the COVID vaccine cases as well. But I think you're right. It is an open and shut case. The Major, Worley, had posted some things on his private social media accounts when he was running, as you mentioned, for mayor of Pocatello and for state senate. And his comments there were comments that were relayed at your intro there, dealing with sanity in our education system and the insanity of the drag queen story hours and the moral rot that is happening in the culture. And he opined on that from his religious perspective. It was before his time as a commander of the recruiting and retention battalion. And there was an individual in his command when he had assumed it who didn't like those posts. He found them, he went and searched for them, and then filed a complaint against Major Worley on the basis of those posts. Now, the First Amendment entitles Major Worley to say as he believes and to speak in terms of the issues of the day, and enlistment in the military or the National Guard doesn't deprive him of that. So it should have been an open and shut case. The Idaho National Guard didn't see it that way. They removed him from command instantly and then investigated him for a full 18 months. And are now threatening to kick him out solely on the exercise of his religious beliefs and speech.
Daniel, we were looking at the complaint, and there's a lot of the evidence in there. There's a whole section where you can actually read and what was the rank of the person that complained, just so I can refer to him as something.
I called him the complaining guardsman. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what his rank was. He was a subordinate officer in the retention battalion.
Yeah. Okay.
So they call him that in ISO, I think is what they call him.
Okay. Yeah. So the complaining guardsman, when I was reading some of his statements here, his initial statement that was taken down, it seemed as though it wasn't that he was harassed directly by Major Worley. It was that he simply existed and quite possibly even maybe perhaps ignored him. The next couple of pages here, there's a section here where it says when Worley got this assignment, he didn't drive the extra 45 minutes down to where this person was stationed to talk to them. He basically stayed in his own town. I would have expected there to be some this is the Army, right? This is the National Guard, the military, somebody who's like hitting somebody for no reason or doing, red drills or whatever they call it in the movies, something really outrageous. But this seems to just be somebody who's minding his own business and basically ignoring this complainant. I mean, I don't understand what the harassment is here.
Well, there wasn't any, and that's why the investigating officers found that all of the claims against him were unsubstantiated. But you're right, the complaining guardsman raised this notion, and his complaint was that David Worley had created a hostile work environment in the days that he had assumed command. Now, mind you, when the complaint was filed, Major Worley had been in his current position for 6 days. You can't create a hostile work environment in 6 days. And he had met the complaining guardsmen a grand total of 1 time at their first meeting when he assumed the rank in the recruiting retention battalion. They had met, they had their unit meeting. He spoke to him, exchanged pleasantries as he did with others. And then the complaining guardsman went and looked for background on Major Worley. And what he found was the social media posts and the statements he had made during his political campaign. And he didn't like that. He was ideologically opposed to it. And he said, I don't think I'm going to get a fair shake by Major Worley. And I think because he has expressed anti-homosexual views, that I think he's going to create a hostile work environment. Not that he has. You can't do that in 6 days. But he said that he's creating a hostile work environment. So he should be removed from command, and that's what he requested. And at his behest, the Idaho National Guard instituted an investigation, removed Major Worley from command almost immediately, and then has subjected him to 18 months of unconstitutional investigation, treatment, and removal from office. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, right now you're denying him, his ability to serve, and you're denying the rest of the folks that he was going to be working with and helping to recruit. I mean, he's a really good guy. His expertise for our National Guard. Okay, so our program here, we really want to drive action here. So where does this all sit? Because the way I understand it, Governor Lit'l is the commander in chief of the Idaho Army National Guard. And does he have any powers here to say, look, this is obnoxious. We're reinstate Worley or do whatever we need to do and just toss this whole thing right out the window? Does he have the ability to do that?
He could do that, and he could do it today. In fact, before we filed this suit, Liberty Counsel sent a letter to the governor and said, look, here's what's going on with Major Worley. This is under your command. This isn't me. This isn't the U.S. Department of Defense. You're in complete control of the Idaho National Guard as the commander-in-chief. And we sent a letter to him saying, look, this is unconstitutional, it's unlawful, and it's unconscionable to treat a man who has dedicated almost 3 years of in service of his nation to this kind of treatment. A man who swore an oath to protect the Constitution is entitled to constitutional protections that he provides you and I. And we told the governor that, and we said, knock this off. It's time to knock it off. It's in your control. And what he says was, I can't do anything about it. So here we are. Okay, fine. Well, we have to file a federal lawsuit seeking a temporary restraining order and injunctive relief against you in your capacity as the governor. You can say it's not in your control all you want to. We'll go to court and prove that it is. And he could do it today. Lawsuit pending. This is completely within his control to say, stop. Put him back where he was, apologize to him for the unconscionable treatment and unconstitutional treatment you have thrust upon him, and put him back where he should have been, and honor his 23 years of service to the country.
Yeah, well said. Okay, well, thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. We're having a little bit of microphone issue. I don't know if it's on your end or our end, but before I let you go, just can you just let the people know what Liberty Counsel does, how we can support you guys, and where else we can follow your good work on this?
Absolutely. We provide our clients, including Major Worley, pro bono representation across the country on all manner of First Amendment speech and liberty and the family. And so we're sent up lc.org, and what we're doing on Major Worley's behalf there.
Okay, I believe the connection was a little off there, but we have the website here. lc.org is the website, handling First Amendment and religious liberty cases, pro bono. God bless you guys for doing this. This is fantastic. I really appreciate you joining me today, Daniel. I want to check in back with you as things develop and see where this comes, and hopefully we can get David out on camera as well when the timing is right.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, and we'll be welcome to come back anytime.
All right. Thank you. Very good. All right. Excellent, folks. Wow. That's it. Well, so you heard it here. According to the lawyer, according to the case, and what apparently is the the what do you call it, the rank of command or whatever it is. I'm not a military guy, obviously. Governor Lit'l has the authority as commander in chief of the Idaho Army National Guard to say this case is absurd. We are discriminating against David Worley based solely on his religious beliefs, and that is unacceptable. And so, boom, out of the water. Blow this thing out of the water, reinstate Major Worley, and let's get this ship back on track here. This is absolutely unacceptable. Yeah, great. Well, we'll have Daniel on again as I promised here, so we can keep track of this stuff. This is insane. We're gonna mention this throughout the show. Producers, maybe we can get the phone number for Governor Little's office and have that added to the bottom here, and I'll point that out throughout the program. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Thanks for watching, folks. Welcome. It's going to be a good one.
And that's exactly what happened. You want to pull the tape? You can pull the tape because we now got video.